Let's get into it. What a week. According to a new Monmouth poll, nearly 1 in 5 Americans believe Taylor Swift is part of a covert government effort to help Biden win in November. And the other 4 in 5? Fucking sheep. Among the conspiracists, 83% say they're likely to vote for Trump. I'm interested in what's going on with the remainder. I believe Taylor Swift is a secret asset who was deployed by the Pentagon to re-elect Joe Biden. And furthermore, I think that's a sleigh. Biden-Harris, 2024. Interestingly, 42% of those who said they believed the conspiracy theory also said they hadn't heard about it before being contacted by the pollsters. Fuck. We gotta get some polls out there about more positive conspiracy theories. Hi, I'm calling from Monmouth University. Do you believe the theory that President Biden has a secret plan to lower the Medicare eligibility age to 0, but it will only work if he pretends to seem really, really old? Want to know what else is fucked up? Every poll is like this. And that's just the 42% that admit it. People don't have opinions. They form opinions when asked. Even light doesn't know if it's a particle or a wave until you ask it. Nikki Haley said Tuesday that she believes President Biden should resign, saying this in a Hugh Hewitt interview.
I think the Democrat Party knows that, and I think that it is not just in the best interest of their party, it's in the best interest of the country. What I will tell you, and I've said this from the very beginning, the party that gets rid of their 80-year-old candidate is the party that will win.
Easier said than done, Nikki. The Democratic Party is experiencing what a lot of families do. Convincing an aging relative to move out of their sprawling house into a more sensible and practical option is difficult because they're proud and want the place to be in good hands. And sure, sometimes they don't accept that it's time to move until their car jumps the curb at Safeway or a dictatorship takes hold. But other times, and this is important, other times a routine keeps a person young and vital and progressive, and they have a few more great years hosting holiday dinners and negotiating infrastructure deals, and they've taken better care of the house than you ever imagined possible. So it's hard. That's life. And you, Nikki, have a lot of nerve to give us advice about our aging patriarch when you have zero control over yours, because we may be frustrated, but we're also protective. And the difference between our grandpa and your grandpa is our grandpa loves us. And your grandpa would watch your murder on television if he could. Meanwhile, our grandpa loves us. 2024. Meanwhile, Tim Scott opened for Donald Trump at a rally in South Carolina on Wednesday, and this is what happened.
He'll be here in just a little while, and when you see him, let's make sure on Valentine's Day we share our love for Donald J. Trump.
I feel like it isn't even right to comment on this and possibly wrong to air it. Like this clip needs a disclaimer like they do on Max or to go into some sort of vault. That's it. The Biden campaign launched a TikTok account this week in an effort to connect with young voters. Here's the first TikTok dance President Biden uploaded. All right. That's not the right clip. That's clearly the old Six Flags man. This just in, Biden has diagnosed himself with ADHD and described tying Israel aid to Ukraine aid as a beige flag. What the fuck that means? Though many Gen Zers did return to the fold after Biden explained that Trump shouldn't be president again because he's a Gemini. Biden's TikToks have quickly become flooded with comments about the war in Gaza. Of course, the same is true of Reese Witherspoon's TikToks, but on Biden, at least it makes sense. On Thursday, a New York judge declined to dismiss the criminal charges against Donald Trump that stem from his 2016 hush money payments to porn star Stormy Daniels. Can you blame Trump for never paying his debts? This is like the one time he fucking did it. He's gonna go to jail over it? That sucks. The judge, Juan Merchan, announced that jury selection for the trial would begin on March 25th. That gives New York's Love It or Leave It listeners plenty of time to rehearse for voir dire. Donald Trump? I'm sorry, the name doesn't ring a bell. I've never heard it said. Maybe I've seen it, but I don't know how it's said. One of Trump's lawyers called that schedule unfathomable, arguing that the 6-week trial would overlap with important dates in Trump's presidential campaign. Your Honor, please, my client is a busy man. On March 26th, he's scheduled to refer to Nikki Haley as Nancy Pelosi while calling her the C word. On March 28th, he's supposed to say that Latvia could use a little tough love on its eastern border. On April 3rd, he has to warn Travis Kelce that Taylor is going to break his heart. Surely, this trial can wait. Meanwhile, outside the Manhattan courthouse, Trump hard-launched a new catchphrase to deflect from his felonies.
They have to focus on violent crime that's taking place outside. You have a new form of crime now. You have migrant crime. Migrants are trying to beat up our police officers. They're trying to do things that we've never seen before, actually. We are going to have a problem with, I call it Biden migrant crime.
Which one of you people told Trump about trochaic trimeter? Shame on you. Fucking evil, dumb Shakespeare. Trump also made this cool claim while speaking to reporters.
Right outside their courthouse, this courthouse, people are being murdered.
You think I'm a criminal? John Wayne Gacy's outside right now, swallowing children whole. In other Trump-related news, a key witness testified this week that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis began her relationship with prosecutor Nathan Wade before hiring him onto Trump's election interference case. The defense is seeking to establish that Wade's employment constitutes a conflict of interest that would disqualify Willis's entire office from the case, thus derailing the former president's impending trial. Look, I don't know, did you guys see any of this today? Wild. I don't love any of this. It may be wrong, it may be disqualifying. But is it a conflict of interest? It's a conflict to fuck the judge. It's a conflict to fuck the defense attorney. It's a conflict to fuck a witness. But is it a conflict to fuck your fellow prosecutor? They're fucking each other while jointly fucking Trump. So I understand if Trump feels a little bit left out as their third, but ethically, seems fine. Besides, it's unreasonable to expect the people prosecuting Trump and his co-conspirators to not have sex with each other. It's a criminal case against Donald Trump, like you wouldn't be all horned up all the time. The central point of contention is whether Willis financially benefited from Wade's compensation from her office as the pair traveled together multiple times following his hiring. Prosecuting Trump together and going on sexy little vacays? Bad news. If you're in a relationship and it's not this relationship, you've settled. Wade maintains that Willis would reimburse him for expenses he covered, calling the district attorney an independent, strong woman who insisted she is going to pay her own way. Which was tough for me, continued Wade, because my love language is gifts. And at first it felt like she was rejecting my love. But we talked about it and found other ways for me to express love, like quality time and sex on top of file folders and legal documents. And that's been such a growth point for me. I'm sorry, I had therapy right before this. In a shocking move, Fani Willis interrupted the hearing Friday and volunteered to testify. Then, with all eyes on her, Willis knelt down on one knee, took a ring out of her pocket, and I'm just kidding, but can you imagine? Willis took the stand and said, yes, she absolutely paid Nathan Wade in cash for expenses he put on his credit card, saying she always carried cash.
If you're a woman and you go on a date with a man, you better have $200 in your pocket. So if that man acts up, you can go where you want to go. So I keep cash in my house.
Gonna take a lot of cash to get a cab home from Napa, but whatever. Defense lawyer Ashley Merchant then pulled out the receipts in court, including a literal receipt from a tattoo parlor in Belize the pair visited in March of 2023. You do not go into a tattoo parlor in Belize while on vacation unless you are having the best sex of your fucking life. I'm rooting for these two. I'm on their side. Love. Then when the defense said that the DA's office objected to attempts to get records about a flight, Willis clarified.
I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
That's cool. And sure, she's a prosecutor, and he's a prosecutor. But she's also a girl, standing in front of a boy, asking him to fuck her brains out in Belize. Not great. All right. After Republicans killed the Senate border bill that would have provided $6 billion in funding for ICE enforcement, ICE officials drafted plans to save money by releasing thousands of migrants and reducing its capacity to hold detainees. I gotta come clean. If you had asked me which party would defund ICE, I would not have guessed Republicans. It's nice to know you can still be surprised. The Senate on Tuesday passed a $95 billion aid package with $60 billion in funding for Ukraine, plus aid for Israel, Taiwan, as well as humanitarian assistance for Gaza. Said Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell in a statement minutes later, "History settles every account. And today, on the value of America's leadership and strength, history will record that the Senate did not blink." He went on to say, "I know I said that in a confusing way, but the blinking part is not a metaphor. My eyeballs are bone fucking dry. My eyelids have sanded off my corneas. Mitch needs help." Nearly all Senate Democrats supported the bill, but Bernie Sanders, Peter Welch, and Jeff Merkley voted no, objecting to the no-strings-attached funding for Israel. Said Sanders, "I will be damned if I'm going to give another nickel to the Netanyahu government in order to continue this war against the Palestinian people." "Oh, yeah, we're all damned, Bernie," said a fellow senator. "Look at us. We're damned." Oh, cool. I didn't know there was a picture for that one. So that's, I guess, me and Bernie Sanders outside the gates of hell. Nice. Far-right Republicans opposed the bill, and House Speaker Mike Johnson complained in a Monday statement, and this is the audacity, that the legislation lacked border security measures, calling it silent on the most pressing issue facing our country. "And when I finally catch the guys responsible for that, boy, oh boy, am I going to mess him up," said Mike Johnson, charging at his reflection in a mirror like a husky that doesn't get outside enough. Meanwhile, after proposing a border bill, then claiming there was no need for a border bill, then demanding the Senate pass a border bill, then demanding the Senate drop a border bill, then complaining that the Senate didn't pass a border bill, House Republicans tried again to impeach Biden's Homeland Security Secretary for failing to secure the border. Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is the first cabinet secretary to be impeached in nearly 150 years. In a statement, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer called it a sham impeachment and said this is a new low for House Republicans. "Not a problem. Give me 20 and I'll find you an even newer low," said Lauren Boebert after doing a Jaeger bomb and walking into a children's museum with a morning zoo DJ she met on Field. Meanwhile, Republican House Intelligence Committee Chair Mike Turner on Wednesday publicly called on President Biden to declassify information about a serious but unnamed national security threat. Turner didn't provide any details, but the threat reportedly has to do with Russia wanting to put a nuclear weapon in space to potentially use against satellites. Hey, Kennedys are running for president. The Russians are up to something scary in space. Everybody's wearing enormous pants. The 60s are back, baby. It's Mad Men hours. Tomorrow I'm pouring myself a scotch at 10 a.m. and cheating on my beautiful wife who hates me. Sure, I don't know what an avocado is, but when I get to my desk, there's just a phone there. So cool. Imagine it. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan addressed Turner's statement at a press briefing, saying this.
"I am a bit surprised that Congressman Turner came out publicly today in advance of a meeting on the books for me to go sit with him alongside our intelligence and defense professionals tomorrow."
Yeah, sure, he could wait for the briefing, but that's boring as fuck, Jake. And what details are going to make nukes in space less alarming? But where are they? Above our heads. But what is it? Nuclear bombs. Oh, shit. House Speaker Mike Johnson sought to calm the panic that followed Turner's comments. "I want to assure the American people that there is no need for public alarm." Oh, good. The guy who looked at school shootings and went, "Abortion did this," has analyzed the situation and we have nothing to worry about. Said Johnson, "I am not at liberty to disclose classified information and really can't say much more, but we just want to assure everybody steady hands are at the wheel. We're working on it and there's no need for alarm." Of course, he went on to say, "My goal over the next year, the organizing principle of my existence, is to replace those steady hands with the most unsteady, fucked up, syphilitic, ego-driven hands the world has ever seen." Meanwhile, House ethics investigators have obtained texts from 2017 that allegedly show Matt Gaetz, just a few months after he joined Congress, setting up a trip with a young woman that his buddy Joel Greenberg had been paying for sex. Wrote Gaetz allegedly, "Hey, any interest in flying on a private plane to the Keys May 19th to 21st? I mean, I'd reply yes to that too, I guess. "There's just one catch," continued Gaetz. "I too will be on the plane." Gaetz allegedly went on to say that the trip would feature 2 guys, 4 girls, a very high-quality adventurous group. Adventurous in that they have sex with people they aren't attracted to. The woman replied, "Yeah, I'm in." And then Gates allegedly responded, "Fantastic. As is true with all time you spend with me, it'll be fun and chill." "No one has ever had a less fun or chill time on a plane," said a voice emanating from Amelia Earhart's bones at the bottom of the ocean. On Tuesday, Democrats successfully flipped the congressional seat previously held by George Santos, with voters sending former Congressman Tom Suozzi back to the House. It didn't feel real that he's gone until now. It's like we finally started dating again after the divorce, and yeah, our new boyfriend never steals our wallet while we're asleep and uses the money to set up a fake P.O. box for a Medicare scam, but boy, missed that spark. A reporter asked Tom Suozzi about his resume, and there was literally nothing in there about overcoming polio or meeting Tsar Nicholas or inventing bananagrams. Just boring-ass normal political shit. And it's like, can I not feel safe without feeling bored? And does that mean I can't trust the people I love and I can't love the people I trust? What were we talking about? After the results came in, Santos texted, this is real, he texted New York's Republican delegations. He said, "I hope you guys are happy with this dismal performance and the $10 million your feudal bullshit cost the party." Now, Republican Congressman Andrew Garbarino replied, "Sorry, new phone, who dis?" Someone's always got to be funny in the fucking group chat. You're all trying to figure out what day works for drinks, and Andrew Garbarino's in there going, "It's wine o'clock somewhere. Shut up, Andrew. Does Thursday work for you or not, you useless clown?" Meanwhile, South Dakota Congressman Dusty Johnson walked into the House chamber with a baby on Wednesday and joked, "Everybody, I have George Santos' baby." Okay, that's a good one. Is what George Santos said before he stole that baby. What a world. North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, the leading candidate in the state's GOP gubernatorial primary, said on Monday that trans women should be arrested if they use women's bathrooms.
We're going to defend women's sports in this state, period. We're going to defend women in this state. That means if you're a man on Friday night, and all of a sudden Saturday you feel like a woman and you want to go in the women's bathroom in the mall, you will be arrested. But whatever we got to do you.
On the other hand, we at Love It or Leave It have just one thing to say to you if you're a man on Friday and all of a sudden you feel like a woman on Saturday.
Man, I feel like a woman.
That's nothing. This is the same candidate who has a long and sordid history of demented anti-trans, anti-Muslim, anti-Semitic opinions up to and including Holocaust denial. He referred to Black Panther as a fictional hero created by an agnostic Jew and put to film by satanic Marxists, and trash that was only created to pull the shekels out of your black pockets, but used a Yiddish epithet for black people. He also once posted, "I am so sick of seeing and hearing people still talk about Nazis and Hitler and how evil and manipulative they were. Sorry to bother you." Yeah, I guess we do go on about it. The Shoah. A person from Oregon has been diagnosed with a case of bubonic plague. Yep. Public health officials say the person likely contracted it from a sick pet cat. This is the cat in question. Oh. I don't think we needed his actual headshot. We should have just shown the fucking cat. And for those listening to this audio podcast, it's James Corden as the cat in Cats. That's why it's so funny. That's why the people here are losing their fucking minds. The French National Center for Scientific Research issued a warning that, thanks to microbial diversity collapse, the popular cheese Camembert is on the verge of extinction. Great. Now I can't wear my beautiful Camembert coat anywhere without people looking at me like I'm a monster. So far, all attempts to put male and female cheeses together in their enclosures have completely failed. Still your favorite joke of the week, Hallie? It did dog shit. It was fucking... Okay. According to a new peer-reviewed article published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, or PENUS, climate change is producing hurricanes so powerful that we need a new category to describe them, Category 6 storms. Though sometimes people claim a hurricane is Category 6 when it's really just 5'11". Penis. Something remarkable is going on with a stingray at an aquarium in Hendersonville, North Carolina. First, the stingray is named Charlotte. It's a pretty cool name for a stingray. Second, Charlotte is somehow pregnant, even though the aquarium doesn't have any male stingrays. Experts say... What? All right. Experts say one of two things is going on. Either it's parthenogenesis, which is very rare outside of Jurassic Park, or the stingray managed to breed with a shark. Oh, wow, this is definitely a miracle, said a nearby shark that was covered in flop sweat, trying not to make eye contact with his shark wife. Can I just say something about this? Is that maybe a shark and a stingray are having a baby? That's just something people are just throwing out there as a possibility? That's possible? They're similar enough? They look different. A woman named Kechi Diallo has lost her job with the Tucson School District over her OnlyFans account. I'm sorry, you may not know her by that name, because Kechi Diallo used to go by Rachel fucking Dolezal. She's back, baby. Her OnlyFans is full of racy photos, and by that I mean photos where she's a different race. You know what? She's coming back around. William Post, a bakery manager who helped invent Pop-Tarts, has died at age 96. According to the coroner, due to rigor mortis, he did pop up when he was finally done. Fun bit of trivia. When Pop-Tarts were introduced in the 1960s, the name was a reference to the then novel pop art movement. Anyway, William Post died at home surrounded by loved ones of a gunshot wound inflicted by Valerie Solanas. I'm sorry, you may not know this. Valerie Solanas shot Andy Warhol. Believe she thought he might be plagiarizing his work. I think she had a few screws loose, and that joke was for no one. Anyway, Post has asked to be cremated because that's just what happens when you leave him in there. That was my favorite. A passenger sailing on Royal Caribbean's 9-month Ultimate World Cruise has died, the company confirmed. Family members said this is how she wanted to go. Ass up on a cruise. In a TikTok that has since been taken down, a fellow passenger said of the ship's first death, "She was an elderly lady, and the reason I know is because I was coming to my room when they were taking the body out. I have no idea why they took that video down, but left up the one where they dumped her corpse in the ocean like Osama bin Laden." What do you think happens if you die at sea? They put you in the freezer with a shrimp. And finally, last weekend, a cheering mob in San Francisco absolutely demolished an unoccupied driverless Waymo car by smashing the windows and tossing fireworks inside. Said the CEO of Waymo, "If we knew people were going to do this, we wouldn't have designed them to experience pain."